Hello everyone! The second quest on our level 125 list is the Yshari Sanctum one. This one is relatively easy but has a preparation phase which takes a very long time, so let's see what it has in store for us. The Yshari Sanctum end goal is to defeat a boss called Valthek. This encounter has an advantage that it is independent of what spec or gear you have, but it requires a specific set of items that we must acquire first, thus the whole quest has two parts. Our final reward will be a charm called the Ancient Repositories. This charm has a bit of everything, but has a chance to drop with a +1 to all skills, which means we might need to defeat Valthek several times to get a truly desirable version. Quite unique is the crushing blow chance that the charm provides. Aside from that, it grants attack ratings, spell damage and some elemental resistances. It can be further upgraded with a trophy for 6% extra maximum life and mana, nothing to scoff at. Okay, let's get to the meat of the quest. First, we need to assemble two sets comprised of a total of 10 items, one for each equipment slot. We find all these in the Spectre of Hatred, which can be entered from the northwestern side of Caldeum in Act 3. This is an enormous maze, and this part of the quest will require a few hours to complete, so be prepared for that. It should be finished in one go, as it is extremely long and there are no real shortcuts if you decide to stop and continue at a later time. The maze has one main property. Teleport spells do not work in here. You need to walk through the whole thing. Here is a map of the place I fished from the internet. It is slightly outdated as it has an extra 6th boss arena at the end, which is missing in the current version, and the 4th area of the maze, the jungle area, is slightly shorter and easier to navigate in the latest version. The whole dungeon is divided in 5 sections, each with a specific theme populated with specific monsters, large and small, and each has a boss that needs to be defeated. Each boss will drop 2 specific set items, so defeating all 5 of them will give us the complete set we need for the Valthek fight. What's quite annoying is that each section has a route that splits at some point in 2. One way goes to the boss arena and the other one to the next section. Therefore you need to navigate to the boss arena, defeat him, then backtrack back to the fork and move forwards towards the next section. Some monsters are more difficult than others, and the bosses have some specific mechanics, but I won't go into very much detail right now. Not only that I don't have the patience to get all the footage for every section of the maze, but if you've done well until now, you can do this. It's not extremely hard. The first section is quite simple, with regular dungeon aesthetic. The second one is a necropolis filled with undead. Third is a hellscape, which I found to be the easiest one, and has some satisfying loot piñatas in the form of giant polar worms. Fourth is a jungle with all sorts of lizards and lizardman kings that summon minions to fight for them. The fifth section has a Worldstone keep feel and is the most difficult of all in terms of monsters. I decided to skip as many monsters as possible in the fifth section, but make sure to have town portals in safe spots to avoid backtracking all the way here. The bosses are quite self-explanatory, and I found the first one, Dul Mephistos, to be the most challenging of all. He summons very powerful Veil Kings. They will annihilate anyone at melee range, but can be killed eventually. As I remember, this one was the most problematic. In some boss arenas, the extra monsters might pose a problem, but eventually they will fall and the set will be complete. Thankfully, we only have to do this only once per season. I will leave a link to the forum thread that discusses the maze in the video description. Okay. Once the horrible grind for the 2 item sets is complete, what did we get? Equipping all 10 items will replace all of our normal gear and will provide mainly 2 abilities which are key to the fight with Archmage Valthek, but the rest of the stats will render these items useless almost anywhere else. Almost. The 2 skills are Arcane Blast and Holy Bolt. Holy Bolt is a spell which damages the boss. It's mechanically identical to the Purify skill. Arcane Blast is a spell similar to the Sorceress Tempest skill, which is used for killing Valthek's minions, the Mystic Ages monsters. Both of these spells can only be cast if a Mystic Ages monster is in sight. Remember that. Once equipped, we can enter the actual Yshari Sanctum with confidence. The Yshari Sanctum is a boss arena accessible behind Ormus in Caldeum via the door of the main pyramid in the center of the city. It has a 12 minutes lockout, so you'll have some room for error, and it's okay if you die a few times while you get accustomed to the rhythm of the fight. The challenge is to hit Valthek with enough holy bolts until he is dead. In the center of the arena lies an altar which must be destroyed with any regular attack. This will summon the boss and the encounter can start. The first rule of this fight is never stand still. Valthek will cast spells continuously. You, on the other hand, cannot cast any of the new spells until he summons his first batch of Mystic Aegis minions. So run around in circles and avoid as many of the things on the screen until he does so. The main reason why you must stay on the move is because of a timed strike that Valthek casts which one-shot anyone caught standing still. These are telegraphed by dark silhouettes which will deal massive damage after a very short time in the spot they are in. You should avoid them at all costs, and they spawn almost constantly while in range of the boss. Other than that, Valthek will cast some fire and lightning novas and will occasionally summon fire turrets, but they are not that bad if you have enough health potions or good regeneration skills. Moving constantly should avoid most of the incoming damage. From time to time he will pounce on you when at a certain range. Sometimes he will follow up with a mass summoning spell or two, which will spawn hordes of minions. The second one is telegraphed by a specific sound. The minions are not extremely dangerous by themselves. They deal relatively low melee damage, but they can surround the character and make it susceptible to the one-shot shadows, and also block the holy balls required to take Valthek down. But it is important to leave a couple of minions alive, otherwise we can't cast the holy bolt spell at all. The boss himself moves around quite a bit, and that will make hitting him difficult. And just like Purify, Holy Bolt has a cooldown. Try to get in close, fire a shot, then run away until the cooldown of the Holy Bolt wears off. When he pounces, he will stun you shortly, so trying to hit him then is very risky. Also, make sure you have a clear shot with no minions in the way, as they will absorb the bolt. This fight is all about execution, and with enough practice, it will become easy, even though at first it will feel very difficult. Thankfully, once the set is acquired, it is easy to reset the game and get back inside for another try if you fail. Good luck and see you on the next one.